Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today I'm doing a video about survival and protecting your crops. Obviously, I'm not in survival because I don't have access to it yet, which annoying, but it makes sense because I'm not like a YouTuber or anything who have gained access early. But from the videos I've seen, I can tell that they've been using different things, and today I'm going to talk about what things you should use and what you shouldn't, and how to use them. For example, one person I watched, his name was John Bain on YouTube. He was using pieces like this to protect his farm, and yes, it is I would say it is a useful piece, or from his video he's showing it that this piece had a lot of durability, but it's a singular piece, which the problem with that is with the Farmbots, they attack. It will take them longer. So let's say Farmbots will probably be, dig, break, and then they finally break it. But the problem with that is they break it, it's broken, it's gone. Then they can go right in. That's all they have to break. And yes, you can have multiple layers, and because it takes them a while to break it, then you can get to them to kill them before they get into it. But look, if there's a ton of them all hitting one, they could get in before you can get to them. That's why you should be using singular blocks like this, because they take some. So for me, obviously, for a character, can do that, but the Farmbots can't do that. They have to break through individually, which takes a while. So you should have one or two layers of this kind of a draggable block. Probably multiple, because then you can get to them quicker. And then on the outside of that you would have these, like, however you'd have it set up, however you would do it, however you like to play. And so that is one reason why using these pieces, using them on the outside after you have layers of normal blocks, that is a good way. Using it before then, it's not as good. That's why. And the other pieces, because there's obviously this steel pallet, which has high durability from what I've seen, and then there's other pieces like the scrap shed panels, which it's what it is, scrap shed panel, which it kind of explains itself, obviously. But so besides that, that is one thing to know, is that using pieces like this, use them on layers of draggable blocks, because then that way it takes, first of all, it'll take the Farmbots a bit to get through this, and then once they do, then they have to get through all of these blocks. And this is good for at the very start, when you don't really have a base yet. So it's good for near the start, for those who don't really know what they're doing, or if this is what you should start with, if you're not going to be at your base or if you're not protecting it at all times, like I've seen quite a few people do, which in my opinion is quite a mistake, because they aren't there to protect them. But having this, if you are off on an adventure and then you come back, and because at the moment it seems that they don't attack till you're there, so having it like this is smart, because it'll take them a bit to get in here, and so once you get there, then you can attack them with hammer or spud gun, which you won't have right away, obviously. So I would say this is a good example of what you could do if you have access to metal and these pallets and stuff. So you should be. This is, I would say, probably the way to do it if you're able to. Multiple layers of draggable blocks, and using these doesn't hurt, because there's not much else you can use them for, unless you're making like a pickup with a pickup bed or decoration, which you really should be doing at the start. So this is what I think is a good example of what would be an effective defense for just starting out. Obviously, this is expensive, so you'd probably be using either scrap metal or wood, which doesn't hurt if probably will be good enough with just wood for these layers, and then so then you can get there to kill them before they get in, because they do seem to get in quickly with just a single layer, as I've seen another YouTuber, Scrapman, do. He just had a single. He just had just around the area, just 2 block, or it might have been 3 block high, with little things on top, and he had some fence blocks in the base. But this is pretty much what he had, which, yes, it works if you're there, but the way he has been doing it is he's off exploring, and then when he comes back, it was because that's when the Farmbots appear, then that's when he's there to help, but most of the time they've already started attacking, and most of the time, because the vehicle physics are a little weird at the moment. But yeah, this is usually what he has, which, if you're there to fight, it works, because it takes him just long enough for you to get through, for you to get there. But if you're not there, if you're just driving up when the attack starts, which is what happens most of the time, then it is much harder to protect your crops from the Farmbots, because they can easily break in before you get there to protect your crops, which is obviously a problem. So don't do it this way, because the main thing is because of how many trees are at the spawn and around you. You can afford to do this with wood, not with the metal, because it takes a bit for the metal, and by the time you'd be fine with doing this much metal, you probably would have already started making a base. So maybe, but as I've said, don't do that. Don't do that one. Do this. Do it with wood instead of metal, obviously, because that's a lot easier to get. And don't leave as soon as your crops are ready, pick them up, harvest them right away. Just get them harvested, so then you don't have to worry about it, because the YouTuber Scrapman, he got back to his base and killed the Farmbots before they got to him, and he had a full thing of all the crops. And he's like, okay, it's during the day, they shouldn't attack. So he had a full inventory, so he couldn't grab them right then and there. But, so he went back, did a few things, but when he came back, all his crops were gone because he didn't grab them right away. You have to make sure to grab your crops right away. You have to. Otherwise, they will get destroyed, because Farmbots are wandering around, and if they sense that you are farming, however that works, they will attack. So that's what I'm saying. You have to get your crops right away. So those are my tips for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And goodbye.